What's good, everybody? How are you guys doing? So this is kind of shot after I've already done my talk ahead initially for the Hollyland Lark Max 2s, and I've been editing it down, and I'm putting this together because I realized the video is going to make it seem like I'm very, very negative and very I'm down and out about it. And that's not necessarily the case. I'm putting this together and putting this at the front because there's just a lot of things that I came across with the Hollyland Lark Max 2s that I'm so surprised that so many YouTubers have not brought any of this up on their videos of their reviews. So, and you guys know me, I'm going to always give you the real. I'm always going to give you guys the honest truth. So because of that, there's a lot of things that I found out about the Hollyland Mark IIs in terms of quality control or in terms of design, but that's more for the build quality and sort of some functionalities. In terms of the actual audio quality, I want to put this out on Front Street right here. I think this is some of the best audio quality I have ever came across, especially at a price tag that this set is for the whole ultimate kit. And I'm bringing all of this up because, again, to me, audio quality should be the first and foremost. This is definitely longer than what I initially intended it, but I've also felt that all this information is valid and something that you all should hear because this, again, for some reason, so many YouTubers seem to look past so many of these different things or troubles that I come across. So I don't know if it's me, maybe it was just my units, but but I'm just here to give you guys my experience. So if you guys are interested in this product, you should know. So without further ado, let's carry on into the video. This is the Hollyland Lark Max 2s. Hollyland's wireless, I would say flagship line for of the affordable Lark lines. This is the flagship line of theirs. Today I'm going to be giving my first impressions about this product. Things that I like, there's a lot that I like. There's some things I don't like, not as much as the things that I like. And today I want to talk about, is this the go-to kit? Particularly this one I'm going to be talking about, which is the ultimate kit. Is it worth its value? For some it's going to be a definitive yes, for others maybe, maybe not. All that and more in today's video. Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is James Jackson. If you're new here, I do tips, tricks, news, and reviews for the film and video making industry. So if this is content that you do like, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can stay up to date on all the content going forth. So throughout this video, I will be showing off the Hollyland Lark Max 2s, as you can see right here, but you probably also noticed that there is also a lavalier mic right here, and that is the Rode Wireless Pro. So just so you can understand what we're doing here, I am using the Rode Wireless Pro as a means to sort of hear sounds and how do these two microphones different. Obviously this is a bit different setup where you got the Rode on lavaliers, but we'll get to the lavaliers because that is something that is addressed here to a certain extent, as we said we'll get to. But that you have that, and then with this, with the Hollyland Lark Max 2s, you will hear directly just from the transmitter, because of just the convenience of how this is easy to set up, which we will again talk to about. Throughout this video, you may see me switch through the Hollyland and the Rode, mainly for you guys to hear the comparisons, and also when I may be talking about comparisons between, because as you can see right here in this overhead shot, we also have the Rode Wireless Pros, which has been my go-to set of wireless mics for low budget, low running gun. I absolutely love these, and I love this. Do I love this more? I'll answer that at the end of this video. Also, just full disclosure, neither Rode nor Hollyland are sponsoring or have any knowledge of this video. I bought both of these devices with my own money, so this is clearly unbiased opinions. Also, I want to say this is not a full review, as I haven't fully used these on sets or had them long enough that I typically have for my review videos where I actually have real world experiences. Hi guys, this is James Jackson from the future. I'm here putting this in here because some things have changed since I have made this video, particularly of the, I haven't used it in a real world scenario. That was changed. Even though I haven't used it on a paid gig, I have used it at a networking event where I use the microphones for this talking head, which we would typically set up for a paid gig. It just was something I was able to do with little risk, I should say. I have been using them if you've been watching my live streams every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Definitely come in and check it out. But these have been my go-tos for the live streams. And I have been getting quite a bit of positive response in terms of the audio quality that is coming from these. Let's talk about one of the first differences between these two kits. So these are like the Max kits that you can get for both. So with the Hollyland Lark Max 2s, you will be spending roughly around $270 versus the Rode Wireless Pro, which you're getting anywhere between $350 and $400 for this. So quite a bit of a jump. But there is some things that I do still love from Rode that I really wish Hollyland better implemented in this set. But before we get into that, I want to dive into sort of what do you get in the case. So this is the box that comes with it. I'll open this up, and then everything you get is basically inside this little pouch case. Now, in terms of quality, I personally feel this is not necessarily my favorite. It feels, the quality does feel cheap. It feels like it can be torn. In fact, as you can see, there's a little bit of tear already into this. So not my favorite. Now, obviously this is one case, that pouch, but even comparing this to, say, the DJI Osmo Pocket case, which this feels way more premium. It feels this will be robust and be able to carry the stuff, your things that you want here. So comparing this to this, there's a far more premium quality in this Osmo Pocket set versus the Hollyland. Now, the plus side of this is that this is all in one go, which we'll get more into, but I love the case that I love here, which is what you get with your Rode wireless kit. So you get two of them, and they have zip ups. They're really secure. They feel like if they get tossed around, there's not going to take much damage. But let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside. So inside, you get the case that holds this itself. And you will get these headphone sets that you get to listen to wirelessly to the receiver when it's plugged in. Again, we'll talk more about that in a second. You also get two lavalier mics, as well as these two adapters that will take the Type-C that you get on this, the transmitters, where you can plug this in, and then you can plug this on the side, and then you can have your audio here. I will be honest right now, this is not necessarily my favorite implementations, because one, if y'all know, one of the big things that I'm a stickler of is the fact that there is no locking 3.5. Like, I'm glad that, I will say this, I am glad that the lavaliers come with it, and quite frankly, these are, I've only tried the lavaliers out very briefly, but the lavaliers sound very solid, and they do have sort of a nice little premium built to them. But I really wish this was locking 3.5, similar to how it is with the Rode Wireless Pros. As you can see here, we have a locking 3.5 jack port. I guess I kind of get it, because if there was a locking 3.5, this tugs right here. This could potentially pull and damage, because again, we're using a Type-C port to connect this. but it's pretty nice to surface. And this would be more, that would have been more concerning if it was up top here, but instead it's off on the side. So if something does get yanked, it's pulling here, which is not necessarily pulling up. Hollyland, I really, really wish, I will just say this, the design and build qualities are going to be things that are going to be my biggest critique of this kit. I really wish this was a 3.5 locking port. If it was that, this would be a much more exciting piece of it. Nevertheless, you still do get 2 lavalier microphones and a way to adapt them to the transmitters, which is a lot more than what you would get with the DJI Mic 2 kits, which don't even come with lavalier microphones, and they're already far more expensive. What you also get is 3.5 cover. You get a Type C port. You get windshield covers. So I believe these are for the lavaliers, though based on the ring outer ring, I believe these are for the lavalier sets right here, so you can try them out. There was supposed to be something for the windshields, but I can't seem to find it, which I think goes into another negative about the design of this kit, is that it's so easy to lose something. I'm almost certain that there was windshield that came with this, but as you can see, it's kind of hard to go by. Hey guys, this is James Jackson from the future again. I'm actually coming back because I actually found the little dead cat pops that go on top of the transmitter. Apparently it was stuck and hidden somewhere, which again, I guess to me continues the whole thing with quality. I wish there was just a way to sort of really easily, especially since almost everything is black, I wish there was a way to sort of, if this was in the interior, kind of like the DJI, the interior is actually gray, so you can easily spot things that are black, but on the Hollyland, everything is black, so it's harder to see. But this, I just wanted to show that this is the transmitter that we have right here. And I'm going to pull it on. So now you may hear multiple sounds, so I apologize for right now. But you can put this on right here. And as you see, it attaches. And I think it actually holds quite well. But as you guys can see, this is sort of how it looks like with the fuzzy top on. And I will say that the fuzzy top, it's nice, easy to pop off. It's really easy to get it off, but also to clamp on. It's got a nice, so it feels secure. So that's the best thing that's the great thing I will say in regards to the fuzzy cat. It's because some people don't like saying dead cat. I don't care. I'll say dead cat. Dead cat. Anyway, back to present James, or past James. Is it the past or is it the present? Because this is definitely the future, but actually this would mean this is the present. So if the future is the present, then what does that mean about what you're watching now? Oh, and last but not least, that you have these magnet sets right here that basically you attach to the transmitter. That as you see right here, this is the transmitter. So what you do is essentially you slide the sort of sock onto the receiver, and then you just clamp it on, and then you can run it that way if you so desired, or if you wanted to reverse it and sort of put the transmitter on the inside and sort of be a bit more discreet, you could do that. Although you would never, unless you wanted to do ASMRs of your stomach, you probably don't want to put this into your that low. This is, I guess, a good time to discuss the design, the many issues in terms of design and quality that I have. So the first thing is that as you can see here, this is the main compartment for the transmitter receiver. The first issue that I have is, while this is nice and closed, the problem I have is that this thing gets knocked over so easily. There's just a slight magnet here that kind of holds it in place, and it does an okay job, but it just only takes the ever so amount of force to open this, and then all of a sudden all your microphone, your transmitter receiver starts spilling out. The other thing I don't like about this is that it doesn't, even though you put this back into the receiver, there's nothing to hard lock it in or give you any sort of security that your things are put in and charged accordingly. For example, when I had the receiver out a little bit and I went in to charge it, put it back in the charge, I opened this up and it still wasn't charged. And most of that had to do with the fact that it doesn't need to be fully in, or it could be slightly off and it just doesn't charge. And this same thing here is like, if you don't put this in necessarily properly, it gets shake, or if it shakes, it can come out and come undone. This one right here is actually another receiver that you can use to connect to smartphones. But right now, I'm actually using it with my Osmo Pocket 3, which is filming this stuff above, and that is sending basically the Hollyland Lark Max 2 transmitter to the Osmo Pocket as a setup, even though I am also recording in 32-bit float. So this is great. That you get both of these options. I really do like this option, and I like the fact that it allows me to connect to the Osmo Pocket 3. I think it's a really, really cool feature and setup. All right, so this is James from the future once again. I'm coming because I have another gripe I'm talking about with the Ultimate Kit. And this revolves around the smartphone application receiver, which I gotta say is, when pairing it up, it's great. Like right now, it's paired up. I'm having it paired up right now. It's going directly into my Osmo Pocket. The problem I have is that the time or the date that is recorded from the phone receiver is different from the main receiver that you put on your camera. And this is so annoying because the dates make no sense. Like, there was one date that was August 18th, 2025, and then there's another date that's like June 2025, and the June date is actually the one I just recorded before, whereas the August date was that was like a week or so ago. So the dates are all over the place, and it's kind of insane how this works. So when you're shooting, if you pair the receivers with the smartphone receiver, it has a completely different date than the receiver that is put in the camera. So if you happen to mix these up and use these two, all of a sudden you're getting really, really confused as to why are the dates and stuff are not lining up. So I just had to mention that. I'll bring that up. It's another annoying thing. I just reset everything in the app, which of course set everything back to Chinese. I'm hoping this will be different this time and you'll be able to hear it. Hopefully I can reset it and I'll let you guys know with text if this works or not. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that real quickly. The other thing, and I got to talk about, and this is going to be a big thing, which is the last thing I didn't talk about, which is these earphones. So essentially what these are is basically the wireless headphones, but if you have a receiver out, it will connect to those receivers. So I'll just say, in terms of just earphones, they're actually really cool designs. They got these little like little steps to lock the ear things in place, and it's actually really, really secure. There's a couple of things. One, if you're using the smart receiver, this will not work with them. This will only work with the on-camera receiver. So if you try to connect this with the smart receiver, it's not going to work. The other one, the other issue, and this is the bigger issue, is the fact that the sound quality of these is horrible. So if you're looking to check the quality of your sound, this is not going to be a good reference. You'll get this sort of, it gives the sense like the audio is actually further away. It gives this distorted and kind of tin can sort of sound quality coming out of them, which is a real shame because this is one of the main reasons why I was looking forward to this particular kit. But unfortunately, the sound is just not up to it. If you just want to make sure that you've got sound coming into your receiver, this will do the job. But quite frankly, you're better off just overall getting professional headphones, plug it into your camera, or even to your receiver if it's open, and basically monitor your audio there. Now, a cool feature that the receiver has of the Lark Max 2s is the fact that it has both a line out that you can go directly into your camera, but it also has a headphone port that is separate that you can use to monitor your sound using traditional professional headphones. And honestly, this is actually even great if you are using a camera that doesn't have a headphone port on you. You can use the Hollyland Lark Max 2s as your way, so where you can monitor the sound that is going into your camera. The big thing, and the big thing for me that makes this to me so much better than something like the Rode Wireless Pros is most people are going to talk about is, of course, the size. But for me, yes, if you compare the size of these guys, it's like night and day in terms of what we have here in terms of size. But to me, the big thing is that, one, it's not a glossy thing, so you don't have to worry about reflections from like light sources and things like that. Like I'm already seeing the light, like the reflections of my lights into this, and you're probably seeing it on the overhead. This has a nice clean matte finish, and even though there's a Hollyland logo on here, it's barely noticeable and it's easy to cover up. But more importantly, you can flip it on the back and basically just put majority of it on the inside like I have it now, and no one will know what the logo is. I really am sick and tired of all of these manufacturers who make these audio units have to put their big logos on here. DJI is the most notorious, and I can't stand them when DJI comes in, and I'm gonna bring out the mic 2. You got this big giant ass logo right here on the microphone. It's annoying, and I wish you all would stop doing this. Stop doing this. Stop putting logos on there. We know who you are, but we don't need to. The rest of the world knows who you are. We all know who you are. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about that could be potentially make or break for a lot of you guys is the design of the code shoe of the receiver. If you notice that at the bottom, you got this part right here that this is where you sort of put it on the camera, which is great because then like it puts it in. So like, for example, on the Sony FX3, you put this on where the code shoe mount is on the camera and slide it in. It's super snug, it's super tight, and I designed it. However, if you're using cages that have code shoes or something that is not the connecting port of the top of a majority of cameras, if it's not that, this thing basically loses. There's no way to adjust this hot shoe. Unless you have the exact type of code shoe, or if you're going directly onto the camera, this basically will slip and fall right off. So here's sort of an example of it. So this is the top handle of my Sony FX3. So I have like a little adapter that allows me to put a code shoe mount on here, which I would normally just run on wireless relay here. But as you'll see, falls right off. There's no way to secure this into the spot. And the only place I was like, maybe it's like right here, where it's sort of falling and you got gravity places, but the moment this camera may go up, down or anything, falls right out. I don't understand how this is such a blatant miss of a design, and why this is to me a very, very big design flaw. Hey guys, this is James from the future again. This is, I guess, a good time to also bring up what was mentioned in the earlier part of the video with James in the past, was the fact that with the Sony FX3, with the code shoe mounts, that the receiver would fall off. That is not necessarily the case with the Tilta Cage that I got from Blackmagic. This is the receiver, as y'all can see. So apparently this has enough, let me also make sure I don't screw my microphone, so I'm going to lock this in. But apparently this is tight enough that you can put this on the cinema camera's cage, see here, and it won't fall off. So this is to basically say that it depends on the cold shoe mount that you have for your system, because it works with the Tilta Cage that's designed for the Blackmagic cameras. But as you will see here, once again, if I put this on the FX3 rig, like I do here, there's not a lot of space, but it can fall off easily here. If I was to put it here, you know, falls right off, you know, or if I put it here, as you can see, falls right off. So it all depends on the design of the cold shoe mount that you use. So I just wanted to put that out there. Now, I guess this would be a good time to compare to what you get in terms of the quality and the packages of the Rode Wireless Pros. So number one, this is still plastic, but what I love about the Rode Wireless Pros is that there's a very secure sound that lets you know this is in, it's tight. You got zippers on the side that is going to protect it. You don't have to worry about it. Even though it's two separate cases, this feels more secure, and it's going to last way longer. And it has. It's lasted me years. And even when I have something like this, I have stuff like completely packed into it. It's still stuff that doesn't feel like it's going to be hard to find or something I'm going to lose. I've got everything secure. The other thing that Rode absolutely killed that I love is the fact that when you plug this in to your computer, it actually detects all of the transmitters, including the receivers, and you're able to dump both transmitters at the same time to your computer. Whereas this only charges it. In order to dump the files, you actually have to go in and connect each transmitter to your computer and offload them that way. And again, I can't just stress the fact that, you know, Rode has provided with locking 3.5 jack cables, which to me is just industry standards. And this is something that anybody who's making a wireless transmitter system or anything wireless that involves lavaliers must be 3.5 locking. It's just standard and it should be accepted. All of my professional lav mics are 3.5 locking because it helps prevent damage to the lav mics, and provides a bit more security in case something gets pulled or tagged. Now, even though I've been harking on the Hollyland's build quality and design, I do have to say the audio quality is absolutely stunning. For what you get for $270, it is absolutely amazing, just in terms of the quality that you can put directly to the camera, let alone the 32-bit float that you can be using. So like right now, you can hear what's directly coming into the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, even though this is probably a bit over because for some reason the preamps of the Osmo Pocket 3 is like enormously high for no apparent reason. But you can hear what this sounds like just going into the Osmo Pocket 3 versus the 32-bit float, which again will just give you more control flexibility. And this is even still cool. And to me, it's on par with the Rode Wireless Pros audio quality, which I have personally found to be one of the best qualities, far exceeding the DJI Mic 2s. I think the DJI Mic 2's audio is quite not great. I'll just be honest. Even when I'm using the Osmo Pocket 3, I never use this. I actually only end up using the Rode Wireless Pros because the audio is just that much better. However, now with the smartphone adapter, I can run directly into the Osmo Pocket 3. This makes it a far more interesting value proposition because now I can have the great quality audio going into what I want while still doing 32-bit flow, and I'm not just putting a big fat logo onto my shirt and being a walking advertisement for an audio company when they're not paying me. Let's talk about the experience that I had in a talking head style setup for real world experience. So I was given the opportunity to present my company, D-Luminous Productions, at a networking event, and we decided to do sort of a mock interview talking head style setup as our presentation. We basically had the host of the networking event sit down and allow him to talk to our company. We shot all of this on the Blackmagic Cinema Camera 6K full frame. We use the Hollyland Lark Max 2s as our wireless kit, where we use one of the transmitters, put it on him, and then the receiver on the Blackmagic camera.
Reason why I like solar is because it's guaranteed to save people money on their energy bill. And imagine when everybody prices are increasing, your price is the same exact number for the next 25 years. So the fact that I can really help people save money is the reason why I like to do solar.
And this is something that I've seen in my recent live streams. I've been using the Hollyland Lark Max 2s. And everybody that has been hearing it has been giving me praises and joy and saying this is some of the best audio quality that they've heard. Me too, which it's also very appreciative that has happened. James, this is some of the best live stream audio you've had as an OG fan who remembers the videos from back in the day. Thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So I'm glad these are working really well. So guys, if you are thinking about doing a live stream, use the Lark 2s, and they'll go for hours. Like I've been here for over an hour now, and I think maybe it's only at 80%. I'm pretty sure at this point it's only been 80%. And I'm glad I got the confirmation from Colors too. So yeah, I think this is going to be, just because I move around a lot, I think this is going to be sort of my audio setup. And it's really easy to just put the little one on top of the FX3. The other thing that I really like is the fact that I barely have to touch the Hollylands. It feels much more fuller. I may just throw in a compressor just to kill some noise, some things that are in the surrounding environments that I have, but outside of that, I hardly ever touch it because the audio quality is just that good. And as you guys will probably hear right now, comparing the Rode Wireless Pro, which has been my go-to, this will be comparing that to now with the Hollyland Lark Max 2s. The quality, I personally feel, I've been finding just from using it on camera, not necessarily even the 32-bit float, has been relatively the same. The third thing that I really do like about this audio unit is the fact that even though, again, I complained about the date and time functionality of the smartphone receiver, but I absolutely love the fact that it can plug in and it connects and it's little hassle. It's actually one of my favorite things. I use it all the time now on my DJI Osmo Pocket, which I'm actually using it right now. But it's not just that. I can actually plug in my DJI Osmo Pocket to be used as a web camera, and then plug this device, and then plug the smartphone device into my computer, and then basically run a streaming. If I want to stream, I can do that, and there was no difference. There was no latency issues in terms of difference between audio and the Pocket, even though we were using a separate video and a separate audio unit. But right now, you guys are hearing the Rode Wireless Pro in 32-bit float recording, and you're getting to hear that. Come now away to the Hollyland Lark Max 2s, so you can hear sort of what that is and sort of how they work. So overall, in terms of quality, and that's to me the most important thing, is the quality of the audio. They've knocked it right out of the park, and it's great that it's just so much convenient. Whereas I don't feel comfortable using the Rode Wireless Pros, and this just makes it more convenient because I don't like using the Rode Wireless Pros in this sort of setup because it's big, funky, and when I got like a t-shirt or something, it just pulls down. Whereas the Hollyland Lark Max 2s, especially if I'm rocking a polo or a button-up, it's just lock, click, and play. For me, this is a far more better setup when I'm dealing with weddings, especially if I'm miking up a groom or an officiant. This is a much more efficient way of doing it. I don't have to, because I don't like, again, putting it just on the transmitter. I typically run it lavalier, which means I gotta run a lavalier, then I gotta run to hide it. Now, all I have to do is just put the clip on his shirt and hide it behind the tie and let it go. So there's a couple things I still haven't been able to test out. I still haven't tested out the time code yet of the Hollyland Lark Max 2s. That's sort of the next thing I'm going to test out. And then also I am going to test out sort of how it deals with very windy conditions, and even sort of how the receiver works in sort of a more difficult shooting where you lose it, where you got line of sight issues and potentially Wi-Fi transmissions. Now, the only thing I'm probably never going to cover, and I know some of you guys are going to have an issue with this, is covering the noise cancellation. And personally, I am just not a fan of the noise cancellation. I'm just not a fan of noise cancellation on audio in general. But there is apparently levels to the noise cancellations that you can do on the receiver if you want to. I'd rather deal with that in post. But if you just want something really quick and you need to turn it around, the noise cancellation is there. However, just from my personal experience, even out in like very chaotic environments, it's actually, as long as you do a good compression, it's easy to clean up. And like I said, there's plenty of post work that can take out a lot of that noise, as long as you do the ways of properly miking up. So overall, what are my final thoughts? While I do think there's definitely some there's some quality control issues that hopefully you could be resolved in future generations. I have to say, for $270 for what you get with the Ultimate Kit, in terms of having the best, in terms of best bang audio quality, as well as just having a rather easy setup working experience for what if you're using professional cameras, or if you're using something simple like a smartphone or something mid like the Osmo Pocket 3, this whole unit system is extremely hard to beat. And I love it. As a content creator, I think this is definitely something that is worth its value. If you guys are interested in it, I think it's worth its value. I just wish there was just some better quality controls on certain things, as I mentioned throughout this video. But overall, when you actually hear it back and actually listen to it, it's just chef's kiss. Anyways, this is it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are interested in the Hollyland Lark Max 2s, let me know. Leave your comments down below. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, take care, everyone.